Hey, hi, hello, welcome to the show. Marvel Rivals will just not stop cooking, and the newest skin dropping as a time of recording is Lady Loki. This is the first skin of this kind NetEase has added to the game, and today we're breaking down why it rules, and the comic book designs that inspired this watershed look. Also, before anyone says anything, yes, the gameplay is dookie, so feel free to flame my cheeks in the comments. That's half the fun. Alright, Loki. Loki is the shape-shifting Norse god of mischief, and their history goes way beyond Marvel Comics. Mentions of Loki go way back to the 9th century, really popping off around the 13th. For those keeping score at home, that's long before the time that Stan Lee and Jack Kirby created their version for the comic books that they were writing for children in 1949. And just to set expectations early, Loki's first femme transformation in mythology was them turning into a female horse and then getting pregnant. Mythology is so sick, bro. In comics, Loki first appeared in the Golden Age in Venus number 6 in 1949, looking like this. The Loki everyone actually recognizes shows up in 1962 in a book called Journey into Mystery number 85 by Stan Lee, Larry Lieber, and Jack Kirby. Back then, Loki was a full-on villain, and honestly, that's where they work best. This morally gray anti-hero thing doesn't really hit for me. Loki shines as a sinister trickster, a problem child, a walking narrative grenade for their immediate family. But I'm not really here to talk about philosophy or mythology. I'm here to yap about the dopamine-pumping, hero shooter Marvel Rivals and the comic book designs that got us here. So smash like and pump the subs, you friggin' jerk. Alright, just kidding, I love you. On with the content. In Rivals, Loki is what's called a strategist, or a support character. Helping and healing is the name of their game, which might sound wrong until you see the kit in action. They drop clones to mess with the enemies. They place runes to heal allies. They can go invisible. But the coup de grace is the ultimate. Once your ult is charged, Loki can shapeshift into anyone on the map and use all of their abilities, including their ult. This mechanic is so sick, and it's what makes Loki feel like Loki, which is funny because even with all that, I still don't play him. I am a support main, but I'm insta-locking Gambit, Invis, Jeff, or Rocket way before Loki every single time. If you are a Loki main, drop your favorite piece of tech from their kit in the comments. Now that Lady Loki is officially in the game, yeah, that confirms it. Loki is gender fluid. They're a they, them, and I'll be respecting those pronouns. But the pronouns will also be rather fluid. Alright, let's talk about where this look came from. 1993, The Mighty Thor Annual 18, Story B, written by Ron Mars and art by Tom Rainey. A fire demon called the Flame erupts from the earth, swearing vengeance upon Thor. And then Loki just kinda low-key shows up. The entire story is Loki trying to convince this demon to team up with him. Loki promises the demon access to Thor, but the Flame isn't buying it. So Loki ups the theatrics and shapeshifts a bunch. First into a giant dragon, and then into the scantily clad woman. This moment marks the first time in Marvel Comics that Loki transforms into a more femme-presenting form. So yeah, let's talk about the design. Honestly, the first version of Lady Loki is a little shallow. Loki is using the female form purely as a tool of seduction, which is unfortunate, but that doesn't automatically make it a bad design. This is basically Marvel's version of Bugs Bunny cross-dressing to fool a foe. And to be fair, they didn't half-ass it. Marvel is not known for their subtlety. When they want you to get something visually, they go straight for the immediately recognizable traits. That can make designs feel samey or obvious, but here, it works. I'm fine with the sauciness of the design because it serves a clear narrative function. It's shallow, but effective. Design-wise, the gold accents do a lot of heavy lifting. The earrings, bracelet, tiara, and barely there dress pull everything together into a cohesive look. The blue hair and whiteout eyes keep that sinister low-key edge intact. Where it falls apart for me is the silhouette. There's nothing particularly interesting going on with the posture or shape language here. It's built from very standard proportions with no standout elements that make it instantly memorable. So yeah, the design is cool, but it leans on a few cheap tricks, and it shows. 2008, Thor 5, written by J. Michael Straczynski with pencils by Olivier Coipel. Here is where Lady Loki truly debuts. You see, during Ragnarok, Loki dies, or whatever. Their spirit inhabits a body that was originally meant for Lady Sif, or something. This is a particularly cruel trick that Loki is playing here, because Lady Sif is Thor's main squeeze, and Thor is Loki's brother. So to be clear, this is not a new Loki, this is not an alternate universe Loki, this is the same Loki, but now they're presenting as female. To me, this design rules so much harder than the first one from the 90s. Now, we're absolutely cooking with Diesel. This design feels like an evil fantasy queen ripped from the pages of something J.R.R. Tolkien would have written. The posture and facial expression tell us everything we need to know. When paired with an outfit like this, the headdress feels less like a costume and more like a crown. I don't know what it is about the horns, but they look less silly on the femme version than on the masculine version. On the base version of Loki, they essentially mimic a jester hat. We swap genders for a second, change postures, and boom, all of a sudden we got a real goddess on our hands. Although Loki's abilities are always tremendous, in the hands of this character, they somehow seem even more devious. 2011, The Mighty Avengers 29 by Dan Slott, Christos Gage, and art by Koi Fan. The cover of this book features a gender-bent Loki disguised as the Scarlet Witch. I love how in this depiction some of the masculine features remain in the face to sell you on the fact that Loki is almost mid-transformation into the Scarlet Witch. In the book, there's not much to write home about. Loki just looks like Wanda. Cool prank, bro. 2014, Agent of Asgard 2 by Al Ewing, the Al Ewing, with art by Lee Garbett. Nothing is going to hold a candle to the Lady Sif design from Thor 5. In this issue, Loki is eating dinner with a lady. He's telling her a story of a robbery when, twist, at the end, he was one of the ladies. I don't really love this art style. It's kind of whatever. Lady Loki next appeared on the cover of Loki Agent of Axis 8. While being shown closer to their Lady Sif design, there's not much meat on the bone here to really dig in. The design is fine, but the scared expression on the face leaves a lot to be desired. 2021. Thor and Loki Double Trouble, written by Mariko Tamaki and illustrated by Guirihiru. I love this art style. Guirihiru is an illustration duo out of Japan, and I absolutely adore their work. I can see how some may find it to be too cutesy and cartoony for comic books, but that's exactly why it works. It subverts the entire medium while also respecting every aspect of it. Guirihiru's delicate line work and clean fundamentals combined with the dynamic poses and expressions really make their art pop. Their work on Gwenpool is unmatched. Here in this book, it's also extremely appealing and charming. It's here where we get my personal favorite Lady Loki look. This design is peak, 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 peak. This design stays true to the original Lady Sif design, but marks a few improvements to the costume. The lighter color of the fur cape works much better here as it makes her overall silhouette pop to the foreground. The exposed shoulders and cleavage along with the makeup amp up the femininity without over-sexualizing her. The posture, combined with the unique elements of the cape and cowl, make for an extremely recognizable silhouette. All of that and the essence of Loki remains fully intact. Lady Loki appears on the cover of the next issue with the same design. All of that brings us to 2025. Marvel Rivals, where Lady Loki is being brought to the game, not as a separate character, but as a skin to the Loki that's already in the game. Remember what I said earlier, how Lady Loki isn't an alternate version? Lady Loki is Loki, and bringing her to the game as a skin to the base design means that it's a comic book accurate adaptation. The skin will have unique animations and voice lines. Lady Loki will almost feel like a brand new character. It's clever how they're doing it too, because new characters are always free, but this skin is probably going to cost about $30. NetEase is getting ready to really rinse their player base, but I can't really complain too much though. They do provide so much free content as well. So here she is, and she's stunning. This design incorporates aspects from every design we looked at so far. The narrow dress from like the 90s version, the crown, hair, and posture of the Lady Sif version, the exposed shoulders and white fur of the Guirihiru version, and I'm telling you, this Marvel Rivals adaptation is a God's honest evolution that carries the DNA of all previous versions, all the while making improvements of their own. I'm a huge fan of the thigh-high boots, The staff and gauntlets look so sick. The texture of the bodysuit is mad appealing. The gold trim and accents are interestingly applied. The tall ass crown and fur shoulder pads make the silhouette way stronger than Loki's base skin. By a wide margin, in fact. This faithfully adapted design is a marked improvement, and I love to see the game developers take this kind of risk. Because some gamers might not be as accepting of the gender swapping, but I don't think that that's going to enter too much into the discourse. Marvel Rivals has a big LGBTQ+ community, and Loki in the lore is a shapeshifter. So hopefully we don't have to deal with too much of the Rivals went woke narrative. But I'm sure there's going to be some Twitter engagement trolls out there trying to get that ball rolling. I'm making this video before the actual launch, and I remain unsure if I'm going to buy the skin. Since I don't really play the character, I probably won't. But if you do, is this something that you'll be picking up? Before I bounce, I just want to say thank you for being here on this channel at the ground floor. Subscribe to my main channel to watch me stream Marvel Rivals. Okay, goodbye, see you later, and have a good one.